How to stop being a nice guy. Welcome to another video. If you feel like you get the line, let's just be friends from girls a lot. If girls fail to see you as a potential boyfriend, as boyfriend material, or sexually or romantically, this is the video for you. It's because you're missing, you don't know what we're gonna talk about today. So strap in and enjoy the video, man. So before we get into it, okay, if you're serious about your dating life and you watch the video and you feel like I can help you, click the link in the description. It will take you straight to our community. This is where you'll find all the tools that you need to start attracting amazing women and start getting the dating life that you want and that you deserve. Okay, with that said, let's get into it. Today, we are talking about this. What a nice guy actually is. Why you are a nice guy. What girls really want, what girls actually want. Number 4, how to stop being a nice guy, how to finally stop being a nice guy, and how to do it the proper way. And number 5, what you'll get once you do it. Okay. Why should you listen to me though? Not super proud to admit it, but I used to be a super nice guy. I used to have the exact same symptoms. So girls would like to be my friends rather than my girlfriends. And oftentimes I felt really frustrated and really sad, and I truly wasn't getting what I wanted from dating from the opposite sex. And I underwent my transformation. I grasped the reality of the situation. I understood how to properly, that I was not properly communicating the things that needed communicating, and then how to properly do it. I did it, and it led me to all kinds of crazy experiences, ranging from your usual casual private kinky party to picking up girls 2 at a time to actual committed, loving, amazing long-term relationships. So once you become an attractive man, then all the doors are open and you get to be a part of a world which is constantly around you, but otherwise you don't get to be a part of. You can't really see it or be in it. So this is what kind of happened for me, and I understood why and what a nice guy is and how to fix it. So with that said, I want to also stress that I've been teaching dating for over a decade and a half now, and it's something that's very fulfilling to me. I love doing it. I love helping guys with their dating life, and so I guess that warrants listening to me when it comes to being a nice guy and how to fix it. So first of all, what is a nice guy? A nice guy is defined by agreeableness and extroversion. So that means that you very likely try to generally avoid conflict, try to avoid stirring the waters too much, and try to just go with the flow. And it also means that you look to others to give you validation. You seek gratification from outside sources, from sources outside yourself. So you focus on getting gratification from outside yourself. Generally, the thing is that girls like you, girls like the nice guy, but they never like you as a boyfriend. They never see you sexually, which is kind of part of the problem as well. Because if girls didn't like you at all, maybe then it would be an easy indicator to switch strategies. But since girls kind of do like you, and since girls want to be around you, it makes it a lot, like, all the more difficult to look, the problem in the eye and truly do something about it. And so this is kind of like what we see when we look at the situation from the outside. And the final thing that I want to touch on here is dominance. And we'll talk about what exactly dominance is, but generally nice guys have trouble expressing their dominant side. Like, they have trouble being assertive with girls. Okay. And maybe there is a certain type of fear involved in there that holds you back from doing it, but it is a fact that dominance and nice guys just don't go together. Now, why are you a nice guy? A very interesting question, right? Have you ever asked that yourself? Number one, I can tell you this. I can tell you that being an asshole doesn't work. So, oftentimes, and I know this from myself as well, because I knew that I was a nice guy, so I tried to switch it up. I was like, fuck it, I'll just be an asshole. But the problem is, like, once you do that, the girls that are around you really don't want to be around you anymore. Being an asshole does, like, you hear like girls like assholes, and as a nice guy, you feel, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna be an asshole then. And then you become an asshole, you like start mistreating people, mistreating women, and not in a like a misogynist type of way, just like trying to see if that will work, if like what you hear from other people is going to actually produce a result. And you see very quickly that it really doesn't work. Like nobody likes to be treated badly, and obviously being an asshole doesn't work. So that leaves you wondering, like, you're thinking, okay, I did both. Like, I was nice, I was not nice, and none of it worked. Like, what the fuck? And I understand the frustration, and we're gonna dissect it and get to the bottom of it. Okay. And the other thing is that deep down, actually, before we even get to the second point, I wanna note something else as well. Something I touched on before, which is it's better to have something than to have nothing. So once being an asshole hasn't worked, you're feeling like, okay, at least I have the girl's company if I'm nice. And you surrender, you retreat to that point, and to that like half win, and you get what you can in a way. And you try to be happy and content with what you can get. And ironically, that's kind of the thing that makes you a nice guy, and the thing that makes you not get what you actually want. So that's what kind of tends to happen. And with that said, number two, deep down, you hope that things will change sometime in the future, okay? You don't think that things will change in the present. You don't explicitly try to change something. You just have a faint hope in the back of your mind that things eventually will change. And this is what keeps you in the relationship. Now, I want to say that this relationship is not authentic and not real. This relationship is transactional. And we'll see why. What girls really want? First of all, girls will not tell you what they want. Okay, that's not because they're evil. It's because girls are human. And us humans, we're oftentimes unaware of the things that truly run us and what we actually want. And in fact, even if we on some level become aware of that, sometimes it is so scary or so sinister or so shameful that we're not gonna admit it to somebody else, and oftentimes we're not gonna admit it to even ourselves. So girls, they're not explicitly telling you the exact thing that they want, which would work, because oftentimes they don't even know what it is. And they don't have to either. If it works, it works. And if it works for them, they don't have to like dissect it and analyze it. Nobody would. Like, it's extra effort for no reason, right? So here's what girls actually want. First of all, they do want a guy who is nice. And as we saw before, once you became an asshole, girls didn't want to see you or be around you anymore. So they actually do want a guy who's nice. At the same time, girls also want a guy who they can respect. And that is the major difference. Okay. And they do want a guy who is dominant. And maybe they're not going to admit it, but this is absolutely what girls actually respond to. They respond to dominance. And dominance is not violence or anything like that. Dominance is something completely different and separate. Okay. And next, girls want validation. And this ties to what I just said about the relationship being transactional. So let's look at the theoretical sequence again. You were nice, it didn't work. You tried being an asshole, no girl wanted to hang out with you. You went back to being nice because at least that is like something instead of nothing. And That's what you're offering the girl. The girl wants validation. The girl wants people around her to tell her how awesome she is, to want her company. That makes her feel less lonely. That makes her feel valuable. And honestly, dude, if you had people sucking up to you all the time too, and yes men around you and all that stuff, it would be equally hard to snip off and get rid of, to rid yourself of, to kind of like come to the realization that this is not me living authentically and I don't care for this. Okay. And girls also want to avoid conflict and confrontation. So girls are not gonna ever get into it, start analyzing it and explaining it and justifying themselves and get into the risk of creating some kind of fight and some kind of conflict, and even more, risking being confronted with realities that they don't necessarily want to contend with. Okay, so now knowing all of what we know, especially the parts about why you're being a nice guy, and about being a nice guy because this is, even if you don't admit it to yourself, this is for now all you can get, and you kind of become okay and content with all you can get, even if that's not everything you want. Knowing what we know now, how to make everything, how are we gonna make everything reconcile and everything click and actually stop being a nice guy. To stop being a nice guy, you do need to do it the right way, first of all. Because obviously, if you are not nice, which is the opposite of nice, and be an asshole, it's not gonna work, as we've already kind of discussed multiple times at this point. So, number one, you limit or cut entirely the contact. What is that gonna do? It's not necessarily about the relationship that you have with the other person. It is a lot more about the relationship that you have with yourself. It's about, and I tell this to my clients a lot as well, it's about sitting on a chair with no electronics, with no fucking phones or computers, maybe with a notepad, and not leaving the room until you've made a decision. And in this particular instance, the decision needs to be, okay, am I the type of guy that is content with getting not exactly what he wants? Or am I the type of guy that will only be okay and happy only if he gets exactly what he wants? I'm sorry to announce that to you like that, but it is only the latter, the second group, the second type of guy that actually gets the girl. Girls want winners, and girls want the girl's task is to wait at the finish line and pick the winners. Okay, that's what girls do. And if you are wishy-washy with what you want, that's not attractive to women. So, ironically, what will happen is this. If you sit down on this proverbial chair and make that actual decision, and then cut and limit the contact you have with the girls where their relationship is not what you truly want. Because if you're honest with yourself, this is not what you actually truly want. And if you make that decision and cut these relationships and refuse to fill that space with mediocre relationships again, then your brain eventually will automatically step up. You will give your brain evidence that, listen, buddy, you're not getting anything unless it's what you truly want. And, you know, going once, going twice, sold. Your brain is eventually gonna go like, yeah, okay, let's fill the space. Let's keep that boundary and let's fill the space. Let's fill the space with the people that actually want to be around us in the capacity that we want. So that is such an important point. Make that decision. So it's not about limiting on with the girl, but it's about making that decision. Once the decision is made, then you will see that your contact with women who do not give you what you want is going to be limited or non-existent. The second thing you need to do is exercise the power of saying no. Even if that's no to things that are not very important, things that are mildly, just like mildly important, or even if it's like big decisions. Nice guys usually tend to do a bunch of favors for girls, do their homework, do their chores, buy them things like that. It is because when a girl puts pressure on you and asks you for a favor, you understand that like this little relationship that you have with her is now at stake if you say no. However, ironically and counterintuitively, it is by saying no that you develop that respect that the woman needs to have in order, which is a necessity, in order to see you as a potential mate. Do you understand? So it's very counterintuitive. It's like by saying no, you think you're risking losing the little that you have, but once you actually do it, once you actually say no, even if you kind of want to do her the favor, still you must say no. And once you do it, you see that, oh my God, maybe the woman is going to take some distance, maybe she will become standoffish, but at the same time, the respect that she has for you will inevitably go up. And that is a requirement for a romantic relationship. There's no other way about it. There is no way around it. Okay. And number 3, dominance. This is the most important part. Dominance is what causes women to become sexually aroused. And when you hear let's just be friends, that tells me as an expert that it is impossible that you displayed real dominance. And real dominance is not force and it's not violence. It's not yanking the girl by the hair in bed or anything like that. Real dominance is an awareness of what you truly want, even under the pressure of like people wanting your attention. Just remaining with yourself, that ability. And secondly, it's being able to assert that awareness, onto the environment. So knowing exactly where you want to put like the pen and grabbing the pen and like deliberately putting it where you want. And doing that in all kinds of ways, even verbally, even with like where the girl, like when the girl comes to join you at the table, just commanding her to take that chair because that's what you want. Like this is what turns girls on. Okay, if you fail to do that, this is what will land you in the friend zone, and this is why you're being a nice guy. So, with that said, once you do all these things and you start reversing this dynamic and you stop being a nice guy, but instead you become the fucking amazing, purebred, masculine dude, you'll start getting real relationships with women that are authentic and not transactional. Okay, so even the same woman who had a transactional relationship with you or who has transactional relationships with nice guys, with you, she will have a real, authentic, true relationship. Okay, absolutely, you will get loyalty, you will get attraction, and you will absolutely get sex. This is what girls actually want. This is how to reverse being a nice guy. And with all this, obviously, comes romantic love. So, if you feel you gain value out of this, go join the community. The link is down below. I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Peace.